This is a quick video explaining the possible relevance of the book Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll. The version I'm using is the Project Gutenberg version, which is available for free through Project Gutenberg. I've highlighted some of the aspects of the book. This part here refers to an isolated tree, and if you read that, it's being planted out here with nobody to take care of you. I hear her footstep thump, thump, thump along the gravel walk, which may be a reference to a comment that Forrest Fenn made on Mysterious Writings websites. I have not been back to the treasure chest since I hid it more than 8 years ago. Perhaps the artifacts are enjoying each other's company as they patiently listen for the clomp of a boot. Going back to the book, next one refers to the ground between was divided up into squares by a number of little green hedges that reach from brook to brook. That may be a reference to this drawing here on chasingfennstreasure.com with these squares here in the illustration from page 99 of The Thrill of the Chase. Next reference refers to, I declare it's marked out just like a large chessboard, similar to the drawing. This is a continuing reference why I do believe we've been under this tree the whole time, everything just as it was. Then we get down to the use of words, which is fairly familiar to Forrest Fenn. Speak in French when you can't think of the English for a thing. Then we've got the reference to wood, as in the poem, which refers to wood, singular, rather than plural. There's a reference to a bee being an elephant, which I don't know if that is relevant to one of Forrest Fenn's comments about people concentrating on the ants while the elephants go by. There's another reference to wood. There's another reference to sitting quietly under a tree, a single tree. Further reference to wood. The dragonfly, which may be a representation in one of the drawings from the chase. Then we have a reference to the butterfly, where Fenn has referred to butterflies and flutterbys. Further reference to a bread and butterfly, which may appeal to Forrest Fenn's use of words. Then there's a reference to weak tea with cream in it, which may be a reference to tea with Olga. Another reference to woods or wood, singular. Further reference to wood. Further reference to wood. Then the reference to another tree, where most of the action seems to happen. Then they were standing under a tree. It seemed to come from the tree under which they were dancing. Then a further reference to a small white thing lying under the tree, and I'm not sure if the old rattle is relevant or not. I'm very brave generally, as in brave and in the wood. Further reference to wood. The needles turned into oars in her hands, which may be a reference to the eye of the needle, which is a key location in my Yellowstone solve. as everything turned into a tree the moment she came up to it. Further references to trees. His last remark was evidently addressed to a tree. Further reference. You've been listening at doors and behind trees. Again. Then you have the Humpty Dumpty explanation of the use of words. Further reference to that concept, which may fit in with Forrest Fenn's use of words as to what their meaning may be. Then there's a reference to toves. I don't know if that's relevant to things like troves, but I threw that in there. Then you've got further references to sundials, which I guess is all about shadows and where the shadow is cast, and the areas around the sundial, which seem to be grassed areas. Then we go to Alice got behind a tree, further reference to tree, further reference to wood. The wood's full of them. Do you spell creature with a double E, which is more wordplay. The rules of battle, which may fit in with Forrest Fenn's rules that he refers to in some of his publications. Alice got behind a tree. Further reference to wood. Do you know the lid's open, which may be a reference to the treasure chest. This one here, hung it carefully on a tree. Plum cake may or may not be relevant, possibly with tea with Olga. A sitting on a gate, reference to a song. We've got a blaze of light, which may fit in with the blaze. She leant against a tree. Then you have further references to poems or songs. I look for butterflies. Further reference to blaze. Snorted like a buffalo, possibly not relevant. Where the book is focusing on a chessboard, the 8 square is a further reference to that chessboard, similar to the drawing on page 99 of The Thrill of the Chase. It was a golden crown. In some of the images of the Forrest Fenn treasure chest, you will notice there is a golden crown, usually on the outside of the chest, so that may be a possible reference. Then we have references to frogs, where we know there is a gold frog in the treasure chest. Further reference, hobbled back to his tree. Then we have tea with the red queen, the white queen, which may fit in with red, green and black tea, I believe. Then you have references to poetry, where the Thrill of the Chase is a reference to a poem. Every poem was about fishes in some way, which may fit with the Forrest Fenn chase. You also have references to riddles, poetry and fishes. You have a reference to "This is easy, a baby I think could have caught it." Reference to maybe ask a child to solve the thrill of the chase and the location of the treasure. And we've got further references to fish. Another reference to rules. More references to poetry and fish. And basically the message is that there seems to be a common reference to a single tree. Everything seems to happen near one tree, which may be a clue as to the solution in finding the location of Forrest Fenn's treasure. That is something which I will go through in a further 5 videos, which will be released on 20 April 2020 at 8 PM US Eastern Time. If you're interested in seeing those, look up this channel on that date and time. Thank you, good luck with your search, and stay safe.